last year we saw the release of the world's first female sex robot. So some of you may be wondering, might be even a little bit afraid to ask, what does this year have in store? Check it out.
One of the hottest sex trends has men advancing their sexual fantasies through lifelike sex robots. Well, ladies, now it's your turn. After exploding on the scene with Harmony, the world's most famous sex bot, a San Diego robot maker has promised ladies he's turning his attention to the next big thing. Male sex robots will have the personality and voice of cutting-edge robots and the physicality that women desire. In referring to the manhood of these male sex bots, the mechanical doll maker says the penis will be bionic and users will be able to plug them in, allowing it to go as long as you want. So should men be assured there's nothing like the real thing, or are women ready to plug in and have a robotic romance?
Dr. Batra.
So, in honor of the show, I went home and I put this to the test last night. No, I didn't know. So the idea...
I'm just imagining, can we pull up this still shot of that one dude who, it's a sex robot slash doll, but I'm trying to envision you laying in bed with this guy.
So I think
doesn't do much for me.
So well, I'm glad he doesn't do much for you, and so I think it actually probably wouldn't do much for me, because the idea behind these robots is, interestingly, that they can go as long as you want. Now, I think that many women in the audience will agree with me that that is not actually the female definition of great pleasure or sex. It has nothing to do with duration. And so I think it's a little misguided if that's going to be kind of the intent of this robot and this companion. I think the other aspect of it is that the creator of this male sex robot, like the creator of Harmony, is trying to refer to these as very humanoid and sort of companions. And so that, to me, is a little creepy.
Well, it's taken a personal pleasuring device to a whole new level. I'm not sure.
Well, we're now blurring the lines between sex doll and sex robot. I don't really know where one ends and one begins, because between all of us here in this room and watching and myself, when sex dolls came out, we thought, well, maybe for some people who are really lonely, it may help them learn how to attach. But now this is taking it to the next level. And they're not lifelike enough. They're just plastic looking enough that it's almost disturbing to me to envision, I hate to say this, but I'm trying to envision an actual encounter with one of these. And it's similar with the female sex dolls slash robots.
My problem is I can't find batteries for Harmony.
We're seeing study after study that show that men and women respond to sexual arousal really differently. So there was a really interesting study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine that looked at how much the brain is involved in sexual arousal between men and women. And it turns out, contrary to what everybody thought, women's brains are much more active during sex. And so I thought that was really fascinating, because we're always talking about men and how they get turned on, but for women it's very, very cerebral. In fact,
cerebral. Yeah. And for us, our mind is down there, right?
Correct. And so, in fact, they did a second follow-up study at McGill University in Canada, and they actually did functional MRI, like imaging studies, to show what areas of the brain light up. And they found that in women, when we're aroused, many more areas of our brain are lighting up. It's much more cerebral. So then when you have a doll like this, it has none of that aspect of intimacy or brain activation.
And the little things, hand-holding.
Exactly, no, 100%. And all it's gonna do is go for a really long time. I just don't really think that for most women, that's gonna float their boat. And then I think the second thing is that in our already very disconnected world, where many of us have more of a relationship with our phone than with actual people, I just get really nervous about yet another device that separates you from real people and minimizes social...
100% that you would get dependent on this robot, not just for the physical aspect, but everything else, and that's so dehumanizing and not what sex is supposed to be about. It's too...
I think you would have to almost define this as just a larger-than-life sex toy if you were going to have a healthy relationship with it, because it's certainly not overly lifelike.